The Trinity River Common Vision Program from North Central Texas Council of Governments with Gary Skaggs and John Promise.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There are two words which strike fear in the hearts of folks in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. They are not the Washington Redskins.
Just wait till next week.
And despite our esteemed luncheon speaker, they are not crime statistics, being a resident of Arlington, Texas. They are El Nino. El Nino is expected to drop massive amounts of water along the southwest corridor. And when those waters intersect with the major storm coming from the Gulf, sitting over the Dallas-Fort Worth area, computer simulations which we have provided to the major news media in our region and have used extensive 3D simulation indicate that more than 22,000 homes will be damaged, 65,000 people, more than 140 million square feet of property will sustain massive damage, that more than $4 billion of damages will be incurred, more than double what we saw this past summer in the Dakotas. We have computer models which show the locations of every home, of every business that will be damaged. And we've used these computer simulations to look at solutions to the future. What ways can we reduce flooding in North Central Texas? But we come again and again to the problem that in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, we are one of the fastest growing urban areas in America. Our local governments want to grow. They want to develop the last remaining area of open space through the heart of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So we have these two big public policy dilemmas: public health, safety, and welfare, of which this data is unchallenged, and the desire of local government to allow business and citizens to develop their properties. Well, our computer models showed some technical solutions. We have to stabilize the risk of flooding. People will not believe and invest in programs to reduce flooding until we stabilize the flooding risk. So as the technical director of the regional program, with others, we came up with some interesting and innovative ideas. What if the local governments together agree to rein in that development, to put in common criteria for how that quarter of the size of Rhode Island floodplain might look into the future? What if they agreed to a review and comment process where politics to work?
So we were really faced with the classical dilemma. Could we grow yet still protect the quality of life and protect the environment? We were forced to develop a steering committee of all the elected officials in the region of equal power and of equal self-interest. Each of those would have preferred to develop their areas and see the others stand idle. But we band together with that same self-interest because, again, we were able to put health, safety, and welfare above the economic causes or the economic issues. And we did that. When we did that, we were forced to recognize through that collaboration that we could develop the funding that was required for a project of such massive size and length and time. We've been into it 11 years, 7 years simply developing the corridor development certificate. So that's a long political agenda. It took a lot of money, and we were able to do that because we were able to put health, safety, and welfare above everything else, as well as the realization that we could satisfy the constituency who expected that kind of behavior from their elected officials. We were not only therefore to stabilize the flooding concerns in the area, but then identify over 100 alternative programs by which we could reduce flooding in the area. Once we began on that program and that course and that success, it was a bandwagon effect where we became the underpinnings of many other projects of similar nature where these 14 local entities could band together and seek success. We had recreation programs, we had transportation programs, all becoming a part of the overall program. That was our success, and it was acknowledged by Mayor Kirk when he came to local office here recently, when he said the top 5 priorities for him as mayor of Dallas was the Trinity River, the Trinity River, the Trinity River, the Trinity River, and yes, the Trinity River.
Haha. You got that number 5 of them just right. Bill Klinger.
Well, I was really impressed. I think the political miracle that you pulled off, I think was absolutely astonishing. I mean, to get that many local governments to work in harness toward a common goal, and obviously the driving force behind that was the impetus of the potential flood threat. I guess what I didn't see in the application was you were able to stabilize the flood threat. You mentioned that you did undertake things to remediate and try to improve the possibility that you would not be devastated. I didn't see that in the data.
One primary example is that the largest transportation need in our region is to clear up downtown Dallas, which has a massive traffic jam in the morning. Primary alternative now completing initial design efforts is a couplet system tied into the levees. When the new levees are built, they will take 12,000 of those people who are subject to flooding and 70 million of the 140 million acres of commercial property out of the floodplain as part of an integrated solution, also meeting our highest transportation need. That project was just unanimously approved about a month ago by the city of Dallas. It's a $1 billion effort, it's going to take a decade to implement, but it has been endorsed by the state, federal, local agencies involved, and it's on the way to implementation. There are other examples, but that's one very big example in our region.
Margaret Gordon.
I'm wondering if you think, I also would congratulate you on the work and the effort that it must have taken to pull that off after all that especially through that long period of time. I'm wondering if you think just because of that, this project is replicable other places, because the situation, of course, would be different. And secondly, if you think that the same strategy could be used to solve other kinds of problems.
Indeed, I certainly do. It's replicable in the fact that it's not a model that can be followed footstep by footstep. As you say, it's too complex, it's too broad, and it ran over such a long period of time that it would be hard to identify a technical model per se. But the concept there is intact. That is, governments of equal stature can work together when they have common needs and common understanding of where they need to go. And in that sense, the concept provides the guide path by which other governments can duplicate it elsewhere.
I might expand on that a second. One of the consultants who was most opposed to the project and wanted my scalp, as he told your reviewer when he visited, later become one of our strongest advocates, submitted our program, and which was awarded the national award by the Association of Floodplain Managers. And through that, we've had opportunity and contact with others around the country who have visited, and we've talked with them about how they can do the same thing.
Tom?
Would you explain the role of the Corps of Engineers?
They are the venerable source. They have federal responsibilities for permitting, but that permitting does not extend to the entire floodplain. It's only if there are wetlands. Through this process, once a developer reviews a project, public or private developer reviews a project and looks at the flooding impact, and that information is run using the Corps of Engineers model, which we helped invest in developing to see how it fits into the entire floodplain. The Corps of Engineers gives basically a finding, which is public. The local governments use that along with this review process to determine, is it a viable project? Gets the Corps involved in doing technical review, not regulatory, technical review throughout the floodplain, where to date their role has been limited to the regulatory function.
I might add as well that this is the first time that the Corps has been involved from a partnership standpoint in a project this large and this expansive that has run as many years. They serve as an equal partner on our steering committee.
And Tony? Max?
Knowing that area pretty well, how do you get cities to come together with two giants like Fort Worth and Dallas and then speak up with those governments of equal stature and getting them to come together to do what you've done?
Having worked with regional programs for 25 years, the advice I give people is enlightened self-interest. What we have to find is something in the program that is of self-interest. Our studies showed that the local governments would not only flood their neighbors, but they would actually flood themselves. And in this program, it was not environmentalist against developer, it was the owner of the raw land fighting against the developed land, and who would get what priority in this program. It's been a very interesting exercise.
Well, our time is up. Mr. Promise, I must confess that when you opened there, you brought to mind a cartoon that appeared in the paper last week of a man and wife in bed, and he's sort of reaching over toward her, and she says, "Not tonight, dear, it's El Nino."